Unlimited resources, battle reports, clothing, competition, no leakage of women. Through the turbulent times of the Three Kingdoms, the beginning appeared in the burned-down city of Luoyang. Coincidentally, when the city was running out of food, he awakened the daily unlimited resources system. Infinite rice porridge, high-quality mustard tuber, sesame Shaobing, baked cake and griddle, chicken legs and eggs one day. Uncle Lu loves the people like a son, and we are willing to serve the Lord. 3 days. Cheating LV Bu to kill Dong Zhuo, he took the opportunity to intercept the ferret cicada. 5 days. Cai Yan and Cai Yuan, 2 sisters, went to join Cao Cao. Unexpectedly, they were first entered into the bridal chamber by **Jiezu. 1 month. Uncle Lu showed kindness to us and our parents, willing to go through fire and water, and we unified Liangzhou to conquer the world. 1 year later. Good talents make good use of them, and those who are capable reside there. Only the emperor can save the people from water and fire, and let the emperor proclaim himself emperor. 3 years later. Husband, it's getting cold, put on a robe to warm your body. Looking at the dragon robe draped over him, andFeilu novel network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. An infinite resource every day. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Looking at the dilapidated scene before him, Lu He was completely stunned. On both sides of the street, there are injured refugees lying haphazardly. The ruins echoed with the piercing cries of children. The yellow-skinned woman cried while holding the body of the baby. The old man leaned against the ruins, gazing blankly at the sky. This shouldn't be the filming base here, right? That white mist took me through. He was originally filming a Three Kingdoms drama in Hengdian. I'm playing the role of a bystander military officer, and I'm still wearing costumes. Yuan never expected that the filming site would suddenly be shrouded in white mist. After the mist dissipated, he found himself in a city of ruins. It seems that it has just been destroyed by fire, and the air is still filled with the smell of scorched earth. The host has successfully crossed to the city of Luoyang in the late Eastern Han Dynasty. According to testing, Luoyang city has been burned down by Dong Zhuo and is currently in an unknown state. May I ask if the host has occupied Luoyang city? After occupying it, it can activate daily unlimited resources. Lu He immediately chose to occupy. Occupy successfully, open the portable warehouse, and the host gets unlimited white rice congee. The battle report system is enabled, and the host can view text battle reports. Please note that once Luoyang city is occupied by the enemy, all systems will be permanently shut down. As soon as he arrived, Lu He immediately opened his personal warehouse. Sure enough, I saw a large vat of rice porridge inside. With a movement of thought, a large jujube red vat appeared beside me. The rice porridge in the vat is not only hot, and it also emits a tempting aroma. The refugees who were originally lying motionless on the ground. After smelling the aroma, my eyes suddenly lit up and looked over. Then they slowly gathered around. Everyone's eyes are filled with a thirst for food. Lu He remained calm in the face of this situation. Everyone is just hungry, not trying to kill. And if you want to defend Luoyang city and survive in this chaotic world, you can't do without anyone under your command. Buying people's hearts is the first thing he needs to do. Lu Hegao shouted, "My name is Lu He, everyone." He is the uncle of the current emperor Lu Xie. Nowadays, the world is in chaos and the people are displaced. I feel heartbroken watching. So I specially brought food to relieve the disaster. Everyone come over and eat. By the way, listen to my plan to revive the Han dynasty and eradicate the rebels. What culture do you expect the common people of the late Eastern Han dynasty to have? So Lu He can only communicate in plain language, simple and easy to understand. Pretending to be the emperor uncle is definitely not believed by anyone, but it doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. The important thing is that food is real. Eating too much, even fake Uncle Huang will become real. Sure enough, when I heard the words, disaster relief, the refugees surrounding immediately rushed over. For a moment, shouts and shoving echoed one after another. Let me come first, I haven't eaten anything for several days. A thin and weak woman with a crying voice tried to squeeze into the crowd. Don't squeeze, everyone has a share. An old man waved his arm in an attempt to maintain order. But his voice appeared so weak in the hustle and bustle of the crowd. Several strong men occupied advantageous positions. They held a broken bowl and tried desperately to scoop congee into it. Congee water splashed on their faces without even wiping them. This white rice porridge is really delicious. A refugee took a deep breath, his eyes sparkling with satisfaction. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've tasted such a delicious thing. Another refugee agreed, leaving saliva at the corner of his mouth. Everyone was competing and soon the water tank bottomed out. Only a few grains of rice are left spinning at the bottom of the cylinder. The refugees who didn't get white rice congee sighed with disappointment. And those lucky ones held the bowl cautiously, afraid of spilling a drop. In the face of food, refugees are all equal. The elderly, weak, women, and children are not humble, should they go hungry or not. No one cares who Lu He is. I didn't even remember his name. I just dragged my tired body back and lay down. Seeing that the refugees didn't even say thank you, Lu He smiled slightly. If people's hearts were so easily bought, there wouldn't be only one Liu Bei in history. The common people are not fools. Only when they give enough benefits will they work hard for you. Then he walked into a burned-down residential building. Avoiding everyone's gaze, more than 20 large water tanks were released again. Then he returned to the street and shouted again. My name is Lu He, everyone. He is the uncle of the current Emperor Lu Xie. I brought food specifically to relieve the disaster. Everyone come over and eat. As soon as they heard that there was still food, everyone immediately ran over excitedly. But after rushing into the yard, I was instantly dumbfounded. More than 20 large water tanks are full of white rice porridge. Rush, grab, shout, and even hit the water tank. But Lu He did not stop it and instead moved to another residential house. More than 30 water tanks continued to be released. After all the food over there is eaten, we will invite everyone to come here to eat. Faced with this situation, even a fool can sense something is wrong. The leading strong man clasped his fists and asked, Do you dare to ask the noble name of your benefactor? After hearing this, Lu He was slightly taken aback. This person seems to have some culture. He spoke quite politely, so he carefully examined it. What he didn't expect was a name popped out of the other person's head. Fang Sheng. Is this the battle report function of the system? As long as you carefully observe someone, you can know their real name. Lu He cleared his throat and said, My name is Lu He, and I am the uncle of the current Emperor Lu Xie. As soon as the words fell, the refugees knelt down in an instant, finally remembering his name. Thank you very much, Uncle Lu, for saving his life. Emperor's grace is magnificent. Uncle Lu has come to save us. Uncle Huang's great kindness, we can only repay it with fate. Lu He comforted and said, Everyone, please get up quickly. As the emperor uncle, this is all I should do. The leading strong man knelt down on the ground and said, I am humble Fang Sheng, and I pay my respects to Uncle Lu. I was originally a city gate captain in Luoyang. After Dong Zhuo set fire to the city, I did not retreat with the rebels. But instead, he led his brothers to fight the fire in the city and survived the great disaster. Now that I have met Uncle Huang, please take me in. I will go through fire and water with my humble duty, and I will never refuse to die again. Authenticity, 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 and identity when going out are all given by oneself. It doesn't matter whether Fang Sheng is the captain of the city gate, what's important is that he needs help now. The other party immediately possesses martial arts skills, so it's also good to stay by their side and be a bodyguard. Lu He stepped forward and helped, saying, General Fang, please get up quickly. From today on, you will be my personal guard captain. Fang Sheng exclaimed excitedly, Thank you, Lord. If you are a lowly official, you will surely use your utmost strength. Uncle Huang. These days, if someone surnamed Lu claims to be Uncle Huang. Liu Bei, who weaves grass shoes, also claims to be the emperor's uncle, but is it useful? As the city gate captain of Luoyang, he has never heard of Lu He. Just in a chaotic world, isn't everyone just trying to take a bite? Having food and drink can keep you alive, but who should I sell my life to instead of selling it? Don't even say he's the emperor, even if Lu He claims he's the emperor. As long as he can provide food, he still recognizes it. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Striving everywhere to gather refugees. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fang Sheng has served as a colonel at the city gate, so he is still quite experienced in organizing the people. After feeding the nearby refugees, he took people to search for other refugees in the city. When the fire broke out in Luoyang, too many people were trapped in the city. If it weren't for a cellar to hide, there wouldn't be a single living person in the city. However, as soon as the fire was extinguished, the coalition led by the 18 feudal lords began to sweep the city. Seize all the food and supplies hidden in the cellar. Subsequently, the coalition army disbanded in place and gave up pursuing Dong Zhuo, leaving behind a trail of devastation. If it weren't for Lu He appearing in time with food. In less than 3 days, the people in the city will all starve to death. It's no use escaping from the city because nearby villages have already been swept away. The entire territory of Luoyang is like a human purgatory, where mice will starve to death if they come. Fang Sheng and his team are working hard on the front line. Lu He sat in the lobby of the county government office, reading the war report. Under your instructions, Fang Sheng led people to search door. As long as people haven't starved to death, they all go back to the city center to have congee. The elderly, weak, women, and children in the city have been properly placed. And your reputation is rapidly spreading. All young and middle-aged people have been recruited into the SS and are currently managed and trained by Fang Sheng. Some people did not agree to join the army and were tied to a water tank by Fang Sheng's men. Starving, after tasting rice porridge, these stubborn refugees also chose to join the army. You have obtained a 538-member SS team due to the lack of weapons and equipment. The combat effectiveness of this team is not strong and belongs to the mob. Although the combat effectiveness of this team is weak, there is still no problem using it for construction. This battle report system is really convenient. You don't have to go to the scene by yourself to see what your subordinates have done. Has one executed their own instructions perfectly, and has there been any violation of yin and yang? Although Luoyang city was burned very badly, but the county government controlled the fire in a timely manner. Therefore, there are still a few rooms that can be accommodated, which directly became the official residence of Lu He. To take care of his daily life, Fang Sheng also specially hired several maids to serve him. Although not as beautiful as a celestial being, but they are all in their 20s. After washing it clean, it looks quite pleasing to the eye. I had a good night's rest. The system automatically conducted a lottery at 8 o'clock in the morning. Successfully obtained a new item: unlimited, boutique pickled vegetable. Lu He opened his personal warehouse and took a look. The pickled vegetables are also packed in the water tank. Take out a jar and place it in the lobby of the county government office. Pinch up a piece and taste it. It's incredibly beautiful. Not only did it contain refined salt, but there were also many other seasonings. The most important thing is that some sesame oil was added, and it tastes so crispy. In the late Eastern Han Dynasty, salt was definitely one of the most precious resources. And the salt contained in high-quality pickled vegetables is enough for ordinary people to supplement their bodies. At the same time, pickled vegetables are also very rich in nutrients. Containing nutrients such as vitamins, dietary fiber, minerals, etc., it can supplement the nutrients needed by the body. White rice congee plus pickled mustard tuber is simply a tool to kill people in troubled times. As long as he is given enough time to develop, he has the confidence to unify the world and ascend to the throne as emperor. Although the refugees in the city have all been gathered. But there are still many refugees wandering outside Luoyang city. After receiving Lu He's order, Fang Xing dispersed his troops and horses. As long as you see the refugees, you can say that there is free congee in the city. No matter who comes, you can bring as many people as you can. Although the scouts were all sent out, Fang Xing said with some concern. My lord, there are at least tens of thousands of refugees in Luoyang. If these people all flock to Luoyang, the food in the city may not be enough to eat. Lu He smiled and said, General Fang, don't worry. Although the imperial court was controlled by the traitor Dong Zhuo, the Han dynasty's territory has not yet been destroyed. There are many loyal Han officials behind me who are secretly supporting me, as much food as you need. Upon hearing support from behind, Fang Xing finally breathed a sigh of relief. No wonder the Lord was able to find so much food. So it's not just one person fighting. After discussing government affairs, Lu He took Fang Xing to taste boutique pickled vegetable. The other person only ate a small piece and then praised it repeatedly, making their mouth water. It's not that Fang Xing is greedy, but that pickled vegetables are so delicious. In the late Eastern Han Dynasty, people never ate refined salt. They usually ate coarse salt. And I can't guarantee to eat it every day yet. It's strange if you don't crave this high-purity refined salt. Lu He asked, General Fang, what do you think of this item? Fang Xing exclaimed excitedly, delicious food in the world. I have never tasted anything really good in my life. Lu He smiled and said, send the order, and from today on, pickled vegetables will be supplied throughout the city. You can eat as much as you want. Fang Xing was stunned instantly after listening. The unlimited supply of white rice congee is enough. Isn't it a bit wasteful to supply such precious pickled vegetables infinitely? Besides, how much salt alone is needed? Can it really be supplied? He tried to persuade a few words, but Lu He waved his hand and asked him to take someone to the warehouse to pick up the goods. To hide one's secrets. He deliberately set up several large houses nearby as warehouses. No one needs to guard around, just go and collect the food when you run out. It doesn't matter if the congee is cold. Just light a fire and heat it before eating. His job is to go for a walk every day to restock. Clear division of labor and easy work. With more and more refugees arriving in Luoyang city. Many congee shops have been set up in the city, and you can eat them when you come. But after finishing the meal, they have to work with them, and young and middle-aged people have to join the army. If you want to eat for free, then just throw it outside the city to fend for yourself. The scout brought back 92 refugees. The scout brought back 158 refugees. The scout brought back 221 refugees. Under Fang Xing's screening, your personal army has expanded to 1064 people. Your reputation has begun to spread within the territory of Luoyang, and many people know about Emperor Lu He, a thief disguised as a refugee and infiltrated the city. Wanting to inquire about the news inside the city, his eerie behavior was detected by the people in the city and promptly reported to Fang Xing. Fang Xing led people to arrest him and bring him to justice. After being subjected to severe torture, he obtained important intelligence. There are bandit camps in the nearby mountains, where many weapons and armor are hidden privately. These things were all picked up by bandits from the battlefield. Fang Xing is rushing to the county government and wants to report detailed information to you. After waiting for about 20 minutes, Fang Xing's figure appeared in the lobby of the county government office. Master, I have an urgent situation that needs to be reported, he said, clasping his fists and bowing his hand. Lu He smiled and said, I already know the situation. I caught a thief, right? There are many weapons and equipment in the opponent's camp. Do you want to take someone to snatch them back? Fang Sheng was dumbfounded on the spot after listening. Because the prisoner was personally interrogated by him. My lord probably wouldn't know. Fang Sheng nodded and said, Your Highness knows everything well. What I want to report is this matter. Lu He said, It's already late. Go tomorrow and make a quick decision. Fang Sheng clenched his fists and said, I humbly take orders. After speaking, he turned around and left. Just as he left the county government office, he couldn't help but look around. I always feel like someone is observing in the dark around me. The matter of interrogating prisoners by oneself can be known to the Lord as soon as possible. It shows how strong his hidden strength is in the dark. I'm following the right person. Fang Sheng's misunderstanding is exactly the effect that Lu He wants. Everyone wants to follow the strong to conquer the world. The more mysterious and capable one is, the more loyal their subordinates will be. The next day, Fang Sheng gang took people to suppress the bandits. 2 unexpected guests arrived in Luoyang. The leader is the god of war, LV Bu. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. The god of war Lu Bu suddenly visits. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After obtaining Lu He's permission, Fang Sheng began to prepare his army for battle. The next morning, I took someone to raid the bandits' camp. And Lu He has also obtained the third kind of material, sesame Shaobing, baked cake and griddle. In fact, there were sesame Shaobing, baked cake and griddle, in the Han dynasty. However, at this time, people still refer to it as sesame cake. This is a daily food that every household can cook. It's just that the sesame Shaobing, baked cake and griddle, of the Han dynasty are certainly not as delicious as those distributed systematically. Lu He took out one and tasted it. It was crispy, with a lingering fragrance on his lips and teeth. It's perfect as a rations for marching and fighting. And when he sent sesame Shaobing, baked cake and griddle, to the people in the city. LV Bu and Zhang Liao also arrived outside Luoyang city. Since Dong Zhuo burned Luoyang and moved the capital to Chang'an, Lu Bu began to sit on the cold bench. When the 18 marquises were present, Dong Zhuo naturally had to rely on his military strength. But now the coalition has disbanded, and various lords have also fallen into internal strife. Dong Zhuo wanted to lock his devouring tiger into a cage. Although Dong Zhuo does not have a biological son, LV Bu, the adopted son, has the right to inherit. But Dong Zhuo's nephew Dong Huang, as well as his 2 sons Lao Li Ru and Niu Fu. They also have the inheritance rights of the entire Western Liang army. So his adopted son seems unnecessary and doesn't want to raise tigers as a threat. If it weren't for his exceptional martial arts skills and high prestige in the military. Maybe back to the moment in Chang'an. These 3 people joined forces to get rid of him. But good days always come to an end. If Lu Bu doesn't find a way to save himself, there is only one dead end waiting for him. As one's influence in the military gradually weakens, the voice in the court is also becoming less and less valued. He planned to find a way out. If those guys like Li Ru want to plot against him, he can also take his direct troops out of the tight encirclement and return home to Bingzhou. And Luoyang city is the necessary passage for this retreat. So he brought Zhang Liao to conduct an on-site investigation. I want to see what happens after this place is burned down. If conditions permit, he will arrange a team to station here. Convenient to take over the main force when retreating in the future. In order not to be discovered by Li Ru and others. The only 2 of them on this trip. Even dressed up in disguise. Just wait until they arrive outside Luoyang city. I was instantly stunned by the bustling scene at the city gate. There are temporary kanji shops everywhere. The ragged refugees lined up to get kanji. Despite the unbearable hunger, no one competed, let alone cut in line. Occasionally, a few cries of children can be heard. I was quickly comforted by my mother's gentle touch. The aroma of white rice kanji wafts out. After years of marching and fighting, Lu Bu was very clear about the quality of food. A light smell reveals that this is top quality rice. And Zhang Liao beside him also smelled it. I couldn't help but say, Lord, there's something wrong with the situation. The rice that the emperor eats is not so fragrant, how could it be given away for free? After hearing this, Lv Bu nodded and said. When Yuan, go to line up to get kanji. Don't expose your identity. I don't know if I'm not in a row, but I'm scared in a row. The kanji shop not only gives free rice porridge. There are even sesame Shaobing, baked cake in griddle, and mustard tuber. Give as much as you want, the only requirement is not to waste. After finishing the meal, one should follow the work and continue to manage the meal at noon and evening. After retrieving the food, Lv Bu and Zhang Liao started eating it. As soon as the food was eaten, the two of them looked at each other in shock. I saw the 3 words, impossible, in the other person's eyes. Not to mention rice porridge and sesame Shaobing, baked cake in griddle. Just talking about this pickled vegetable is priceless. Because this thing was actually marinated with refined salt. They have also eaten the Lord they have seen before. But this is the first time I've tasted such good salt. There is no impurity, not even a little unfashionable smell. Is this really salt? Zhang Liao said in a deep voice, Lord, I just inquired. These foods were distributed by a person named Lu He. It is said that this person is Uncle Han of the Great Han Dynasty, who has been providing disaster relief in Luoyang City for 3 days. Lu He. Uncle Huang. I haven't heard of it before. Where did this ruthless person jump out from? Is it a big grain merchant doing business? When Yuan, let's go meet this Uncle Lu. After breakfast, Lu He instructed everyone to repair the county government office. At least it's my own official residence, and I have to rebuild the burnt-out area. Just busy working in the yard. He felt someone watching him from behind. Looking back, 2 strangers stood at the entrance of the courtyard. Lu He looked up and down and felt that these 2 people were extraordinary. Although wearing ordinary people's clothes. But the momentum is different from ordinary people. Especially the strong man standing at the front. He looks in his 30s and is nearly 1.9 meters tall. After being targeted by him, Lu He felt his hair stand on end. As if standing in front of oneself is not a person. But rather a fierce beast. Can it be said that it is because I am helping the people? So, is it possible for a military commander to defect? Thinking of this, Lu He wanted to go and make friends. But he's just about to take a step. The names of these 2 people were displayed on their heads. Lu Bu and Zhang Liao. Lu He immediately stopped his steps upon seeing this. The heart also started beating rapidly with a thud. How could they appear in Luoyang? Didn't they retreat to Chang'an with Dong Zhuo? Can it be said that the Western Liang army has killed back? Between lightning and flint, he thought about many things. Fortunately, he has always been calm and steady in his character. So he quickly calmed down and wanted to find a way to break the situation. There was no shouting outside, indicating that they did not bring troops. The 2 of them were wearing casual clothes and didn't carry weapons, so they probably didn't come to kill themselves. I don't know Lu Bu and there is no conflict of interest. If you turn around and run at this moment, it will definitely arouse suspicion from the other party. Fight it, see what he really wants to do. After calming down, Lu He smiled and greeted him, clasping his fists and bowing his hand, saying, I'm Lu He, the two brave warriors have reason. May I ask if there is anything I can do? Lu Bu first looked at him and then spoke up. I'm LV San, this is my brother. In Luo Zhangxi. The two of us passed through Luoyang and ate the disaster relief food distributed by Mr. Lu at the city gate. So I came to the door to express my gratitude and thank Mr. Lu for his kindness. Lu San. Zhangxi. Why do they use fake names? Just as Lu He was puzzled, the battle report system promptly sent a message. You met LV Bu and Zhang Liao from the Western Liang army. Although the other party did not lead troops, their military strength is extremely strong, and you and your own soldiers are not opponents. The other party doesn't believe you are Uncle Huang, but they also don't know your true identity. Under the influence of white rice congee and mustard tuber, I mistakenly judged you as a grain merchant in Xizhou. LV Bu has not yet developed any hostility towards you. If you are a grain merchant, he may even want to win you over. He faced numerous crises within the Western Liang army and had intense conflicts with Li Ru, Niu Fu, and Dong Huang due to his killing of his adoptive father Ding Yuan. Dong Zhuo has always been on guard against him and lacks trust. His situation is very dangerous and he wants to find a solution to break the situation. There are not many war reports, but the amount of information is very large. Without much thought, Lu He immediately spoke up and said. The two brave warriors are polite. Lu is in the grain business. Provide some food relief to the people of our Han dynasty. It's just a simple gesture, there's no way to thank you. After listening, Lu Bu finally smiled. As expected, this person is a grain merchant within the territory of Xizhou. And he is also a very powerful grain merchant, so he can make some friends. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Dong Zhuo is about to be killed by you. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the late Eastern Han Dynasty, the role of merchants was still very significant. Intelligence, food, war horses, weapons, transportation, nothing can be separated from their help. And most importantly, many feudal lords have the support of merchants behind them. When Liu Bei rebelled, Zhang Shaobing and Su Shuang, the great merchants of Zhongshan, supported him in Zhuo County. When Liu Bei was in trouble, the wealthy businessman from Shuzhou, Lu Zhu, also supported him with a large amount of money. Enable him to recruit troops and horses, and make a comeback. There are many such things. So although the status of merchants is low, their role is greater than imagined. Liu Brung relied on his strength to sustain himself for half of his life. If there is support from big businessmen behind, there's no need to be a son everywhere. Unfortunately, even Dong Zhuo has the support of the four major merchants of Xiliang behind him. He is the world's top general, but no one is willing to invest. The most important reason is that his reputation is bad, and no one wants to get involved with him. So he was very happy to meet a big businessman like Lu He by chance. I want to make friends with Lu He and see if I can get some support. If there is a falling out with Dong Zhuo, he also has a chance to make a comeback. After a few simple greetings, Lu He invited the two into the inner hall. After the guests took their seats, the maids brought up several jars of fine wine. All the wealthy families in the city who fled were left behind. It's barely enough to entertain LV Bu and Zhang Liao. After 3 rounds of drinking in a slightly harmonious atmosphere, Lu He took the initiative to inquire, "May I ask the two brothers why they came to Luoyang?" Lu Bu put down his glass and said, "My brothers have traveled around the world, but they just happened to pass by." Lu He smiled and said, "Since that's the case, why don't you two brothers stay in Luoyang?" Lu traveled south and north, and his grain business spread throughout the world. At the very moment of employment, we will not mistreat the two of you. At this moment, he has no way out. If you're bragging, you can only go too far and try to deceive the two of them. Once the other party realizes something is wrong, it will inevitably lead to murder. Without any foundation or background, there is so much food instead. If you were Lu Bu, would you arrest the other party and interrogate them? So the only thing Lu He can rely on now is a mouthful cannon. Use the information provided by the battle report system to deceive and pass the level. Sure enough, upon hearing that my business scale is very large, the smile on LV Bu's face became even stronger, and he said, Mr. Lu's kindness is well received by both of our brothers. Unfortunately, we want to defect to Dong Zhuo and serve the court, so we can't stay to help you. If Mr. Lu is interested, he can come with us. He said this to explore Lu He's background. Test his attitude towards Dong Zhuo. If he also hates Dong Zhuo, then there is a possibility of cooperation between the two parties. After all, the people in Luoyang all say he is the emperor's uncle. I shouldn't be in the same league as Dong Zhuo. What Lu Bu didn't expect was Lu He's answer startled him into a cold sweat. Ha ha ha, the two brothers are late. Dong Zhuo is about to be slaughtered by LV Bu. Why do you need to seek refuge with a dead person? Even though LV Bu had been on the battlefield for a long time, his hands trembled with shock from Lu He's words. Am I going to kill Dong Zhuo? Why don't I know? If I really have this ability, why would I run out and find a way out? Although Zhang Liao is young, he is very steady in his work. First, I observed the situation around me. Then he gave a glance to Lu Bu. Signal that there are no other people around. Do you want to catch Lu He first? But Lu Bu waved his hand under the table, making him calm and composed. The defense in Luoyang city is empty, and there is no threat from the dozen or so soldiers in the county government. If you want to catch Lu He easily, why not let him finish speaking first? Seeing that LV Bu didn't grab himself, Lu He couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. He made the right bet. Although he is unaware of Lu Bu's true intentions. But the battle report system gave the answer. After learning that you have strong economic strength, Lu Bu would like to confirm your position. If you also dislike Dong Zhuo, he will indicate his identity and cooperate with you, but there is an 87% chance that you will be found to be a fake grain merchant and eventually imprisoned. If you support Dong Zhuo, he will immediately capture you and let you take him to inspect the warehouse. Once this happens, your impersonation of a grain merchant will be 100% exposed and you will be imprisoned by the other party. No matter how you answer, there is only one dead end in terms of probability. So the best way is not to answer and give the other person another answer. He clearly remembers that the previous battle report stated as follows. He faced numerous crises within the Western Liang army and had intense conflicts with Li Ru, Niu Fu, and Dong Huang due to his killing of his adoptive father Ding Yuan. Dong Zhuo has always been on guard against him and lacks trust. His situation is very dangerous and he wants to find a solution to break the situation. These 5 words are crucial. The situation is very dangerous. The story of the romance of the 3 kingdoms, Lu He, is too clear. He is not only familiar with the situation of every historical figure. Even the plot inside is still vividly remembered. There is no plot where Dong Zhuo suppresses or suspects LV Bu. Therefore, he is in the 3 kingdoms world. Perhaps it is different from Romance of the 3 Kingdoms. Although there is a plot of 18 feudal lords attacking Dong Zhuo. But it is very likely that there was no plot where Wang Yunxiao set up a serial plot and LV Bu killed Dong Zhuo. So he wants to correct the historical direction of this world. Help Lu Bu design a plan to assassinate Dong Zhuo. No matter if you can succeed or not, first deceive the other person and then say goodbye. Lu Bu calmed down and said, Mr. Lu is joking. General LV and Dong Xianghua are both father and son. How could they kill each other? Lu He smiled slightly and said, Mencius said, if there is a good one above, then there must be a great one below. Power is something that the people above like, and the people below definitely like it more. How could they possibly be father and son, one surnamed LV and the other surnamed Dong? Zhang Liao couldn't help but say, Mr. Lu, be cautious. General LV is loyal and steadfast. how could he? Lu He raised his hand and interrupted, Brother Zhang, don't worry. We're just chatting, drinking and drinking. The three of them drank a bowl of wine, soothing the atmosphere. Lu Bu asked again, how did Mr. Lu know that Lu Bu was going to kill Dong Zhuo? Lu He smiled and said, I guessed. Zhang Liao exclaimed excitedly, how unreasonable. How can such a big deal be talked nonsense? Lu He said nonchalantly, Brother Zhang, don't be so excited, sit down. Let me ask you a question first. Do you know why Lu Bu wanted to be Dong Zhuo's adopted son? Zhang Liao naturally dared not answer this kind of proposition randomly. It can only be explained by Lv Bu himself. To thank Dong Xianghua for his understanding and kindness. Lu He waved his hand and said, you really don't understand Lu Bu at all. Did he kill Ding for money? Actually, it's to seize power. After Ding Yuan's death, all of his troops were incorporated by Lv Bu, and their strength instantly increased. He worshipped Dong Zhuo as his adoptive father, and he also saw the power of the other party in the same way. I want to find an opportunity to take charge of the Western Liang army, so that I can have the capital to unify the world. Upon hearing this, Lu Bu was instantly taken aback because Lu He was absolutely right. He doesn't like to be someone's son, but rather strives to inherit the inheritance. The derogatory name of a three-surname domestic slave may not sound good, but if you want to dominate the world, you must be willing to go out. People say that he is brave but lacks strategy, but that's just an excuse to boost our morale. He fought for half his life and never lost. Who is not afraid to meet him on the battlefield? If we don't give him a name for being brave but not strategic. When the two armies fight, even the soldiers will be scared away. If he is really a rascal, how could Zhang Liao and Gao Shun follow him to conquer the world? But there aren't many people who know him, and I didn't expect Lu He to be one of them. Give him a feeling of encountering a confidant by chance. I forgot about the food in an instant. I just want to hear about the other party's Dong killing plan. See how you manage to turn around and seize power. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. The beauty plan replaced with Jing's assassination of the king of Qin. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu He's words not only suppressed Lv Bu and Zhang Liao, even triggered the battle report system, allowing him to obtain important information again. Under your guidance, Lv Bu shifted his attention to killing Dong and seizing power, and you are temporarily safe due to your intervention. The wheels of history have shifted, you have obtained hidden intelligence. Wang Yun, who resides in Chang'an, is also planning to assassinate Dong Zhuo at this time. He secretly colluded with various feudal lords and arranged a large number of assassins in Chang'an City, hoping to find opportunities to take action. However, Dong Zhuo is heavily guarded around him, and he himself is also highly skilled in martial arts, so he has been unable to find opportunities. Wang Yun's assassination plan was not known to Lu Bu. This is your opportunity. After seeing the battle report sent by the system, he finally confirmed his guess. The history of this world is indeed biased. Wang Yun is not playing the beauty trick, he's playing the Jinka assassination king instead. Lu Bu said, although Mr. Lu's words make sense, it's probably not that easy to kill Dong Zhuo, is it? Lu He nodded and said, it's really not easy, and Lv Bu may even lose his life because of it. I can see things that Li Ru, Niu Fu, and Dong Huang can also see. And Ding Yuan's death also made Dong Zhuo suspicious of Lu Bu. His situation is very unfavorable. As soon as Lu Bu said this, his eyes became sharp in an instant. And Zhang Liao clenched the dagger hidden in his sleeve. This guy seems to know too much. Dong Zhuo became suspicious of himself and weakened his military power. That happened only after returning to Chang'an. And there aren't many people who know about this at all. In the eyes of outsiders, Lu Bu is still the god of war of the Western Liang army and Dong Zhuo's most valued adopted son. As for the suppression and persecution of Li Ru by the three of them, they were even more covert means. Both sides have not even reached the point of tearing apart their faces. So these secretive things, Lu He should not know. But he spoke eloquently. This guy is definitely not a simple businessman. Perhaps I have already guessed the identities of him and Zhang Liao, deliberately playing riddles with myself. Although Lu Bu is a warrior, he is definitely not a reckless man. After giving Zhang Liao a glance and gesturing for him to calm down, he asked in a low voice. Since Lu Bu's ideas have already been exposed. So he will definitely die without a burial ground, how can he personally kill Dong Zhuo? Mr. Lu's words are somewhat contradictory, they make a big smile. Lu He didn't speak after listening, but slowly stood up. Then he picked up the wine jar and walked towards Lu Bu. For every step he took, Zhang Liao's grip on the dagger increased by 1 point. However, Lu He did not attack Lu Bu, but filled him with wine. And he whispered, because Wang Yun would help him, the two of them teamed up to kill Dong Zhuo. Hear this incredible answer. Lu Bu and Zhang Liao were so shocked that their brains went blank. Their first reaction was that Lu He was playing with them. Who is Wang Yun? Dong Zhuo is the most loyal dog in the court. Dong Zhuo will bite whoever he asks him to, a reliable traitor of a great man. When the fire burned down Luoyang, Dong Zhuo even arranged for him to retreat with his family in the first batch. You know how comfortable this guy is for Dong Zhuo to lick. You said he would kill Dong Zhuo, only fools would believe it. Unless Lu He and Wang Yun are together. The other party is hinting at finding Wang Yun to join forces and kill Dong Zhuo together. At the moment of the misunderstanding, Lu He received the battle report feedback again. Under your guidance, Lu Bu's thinking became chaotic. He guessed that you were with Wang Yun and had already discovered their true identities. Your mysterious background has made him wary, his hostility towards you has temporarily decreased to 0, and he wants to hear about your and Wang Yun's plans. If we can match Lu Bu and Wang Yun together and successfully assassinate Dong Zhuo, then you will receive hidden rewards, Lu Bu said. Mr. Lu mentioned Wang Yun, but is it Wang Situ, the favored minister of Dong Xianghua? Lu He nodded and said, it's Wang Situ. Lu Bu denied, it's impossible. As far as I know, Wang Yun is loyal to Dong Zhuo. Not only did he manage the court in an orderly manner, but he also helped him watch over the little emperor. If there is any disturbance, they will report it as soon as possible. How could they possibly kill Dong Zhuo? Lu He smiled and said, this is the brilliance of Wang Yun. Dong Zhuo is known as the fierce tiger of the Western Liang, who has been dominating the region for more than 20 years. His current strength is not luck. If you want to deceive him, you must give up your dignity and principles, in order to find an opportunity to turn things around. He has not only gained the trust of Dong Zhuo, but also with the help of various feudal lords. There are a large number of assassins hidden inside Chang'an City, only missing a suitable opportunity to take action. Lu Bu and Zhang Liao, even if they were foolish, could understand. Lu He and Wang Yun are definitely riding horses together. Even knowing about hidden assassins, how could they not be accomplices? Lu Bu thought for a moment and said, if Lu Bu and Wang Yun really teamed up, so how should they assassinate Dong Zhuo? If Dong Zhuo could be killed with an assassin, then he would have died long ago. Lu He said seriously, you're right. You can't kill Dong Zhuo by relying on an assassin. But these assassins can create opportunities for Lu Bu to personally kill Dong Zhuo. Lu Bu shook his head and said, killing Dong Zhuo is as easy as the palm of his hand, but Lu Bu will also be killed by the chaotic army. So he will never do such a foolish thing. Your plan is completely unfounded. Joke, I killed Dong Zhuo in the first place. With just over 100,000 soldiers from the Western Liang army, they can chop me to death with their hind legs. The loyalty of the Western Liang army to Dong Zhuo is beyond doubt. Whoever kills Dong Zhuo will die. He just wants to seize power and have the power to dominate the world, not to die with Dong Zhuo. Lu He did not refute the other party's words, and he picked up his glass and drank it all in one gulp. After a few seconds of silence, he said, as the saying goes, seeking wealth and security is a must. They can disguise the hidden assassins as being sent by the 18 feudal lords. Before starting, spread rumors within Chang'an City in the Western Liang army. It can be said that although the coalition army has disbanded, they are determined to assassinate Dong Zhuo. A large number of assassins have been arranged and quietly infiltrated Chang'an to prepare for the assassination. In this way, even if Dong Zhuo is assassinated and killed, the grudge will still be borne by various feudal lords. If LV still doesn't understand, then he will really become an idiot. Killing Dong Zhuo is actually not difficult. With just one move of his force, he can kill the other party. The difficulty lies in how to escape and not be chopped to death by the Western Liang army. If an assassin jumps out to take the blame. So he really has the courage to kill Dong Zhuo. As long as the plan can succeed, with his reputation in the Western Liang army, there is no problem taking over the command of the troops smoothly. Lu He is right, seeking wealth and wealth insurance. There can't be a 100% successful plan in the world. If you want to have the capital to dominate the world, you must take risks. Lu Bu asked, after the matter is completed, how will they distribute the benefits? Lu He smiled and said, then they need to discuss it themselves. I, as an outsider, don't know. Benefit distribution. How do I know how you allocate it? I'm just fooling you to get out of here, who cares if you can succeed? The speaker had no intention, but the listener had intention. LV Bu and Zhang Liao couldn't help but nod to themselves. I don't know how to allocate benefits reasonably. 8 characters haven't even been skimmed yet, can you allocate a yarn? The top priority is to contact Wang Yun first, otherwise any plans will be in vain. Lu Bu stood up and said, thank you very much, Mr. Lu, for your clarification. But my brothers still want to go on a trip to Chang'an, so we're saying goodbye. Lu He nodded and said, then I wish the 2 brothers a smooth journey. We have a chance to meet again. Mad, the heavens have eyes, these 2 plague gods are finally leaving. After chatting a few more words, Lu Bu left with Zhang Liao. As soon as the other side left, Lu He ordered the kanji shops outside the city to be closed. Everyone withdrew into the city and worked overtime to repair the city walls and gates. In the future, when recruiting refugees, it is necessary to thoroughly examine the details. Today's situation cannot happen again. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6 Escape Team of 3. Cai Yan, Cai Yuan, and Hua Tuo. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. After LV Bu and Zhang Liao left, Lu He immediately strengthened his guard. Actually, it's not that he took it lightly, but that there's really no one under his command. Even if Fang Xing did not take the SS to suppress the bandits, these people still couldn't stop LV Bu and Zhang Liao. Leaving aside LV Bu, Zhang Liao's combat effectiveness is incredibly strong. Leading 800 people, Sun Quan was beaten to become Sun 100,000. Not to mention how powerful Lu Bu, who has stronger martial arts skills, is. Moreover, the city of Luoyang has been burned down, and its defense is almost zero. He just wants to be on guard, but he can't do it. Because repairing urban defense requires building materials. It's not that just having someone can fix it. Where did he go in a hurry to find the materials? No, we must dig more secret roads in the county government office. In the future, if enemies appear again, one can also retreat in a timely manner. It wasn't until the sun was about to set that the battle report system sent a new message. Under the leadership of the prisoners, Fangsheng successfully found the bandit camp, both sides engaged in fierce fighting halfway up the mountain due to the significant difference in the number of people between the two sides. Fangsheng personally killed the bandit leader, so your SS won the ultimate victory, captured 197 blades, 33 longbows, 612 bows and arrows, and 17 pieces of leather armor, 3,082 kilograms of grain, 19,625 copper coins, 76 kilograms of pig iron, several other supplies, rescuing 43 people in distress. In order to prevent the bandits from continuing to cause trouble, Fangsheng beheaded all management personnel and the headless bandits were reorganized into the SS. Your SS has expanded to 1264 people, possessing the combat power of county soldiers. Fangsheng is leading his troops back to Luoyang city and is expected to arrive after dark. After successfully returning to Luoyang, Fangsheng reported everything in detail. Lu He said with satisfaction, "General Fang has worked hard. All the confiscated copper coins were used as military pay. Grain and pig iron are stored in the warehouse. You can hand over the weapons and leather armor to the soldiers according to the situation." Fangsheng said, "I am humble and obedient." Lu He said, "There's something else you need to do quickly. Recruit more people from the people and establish an engineering team. Hurry up and repair the city gates and walls of Luoyang." Fangsheng said, "Master, rest assured that I have arranged for someone to do this." Lu He said with satisfaction, "Very good. We will post a notice in the city tomorrow. All military personnel are provided with 4 meals per day, and all meals are unlimited. Even some can be given as gifts to family members. Let everyone in the city know that joining the army for the whole family is a blessing. Workers in Fanxiu City are provided with 3 meals a day, and all meals are unlimited, but cannot be taken out. Elderly, weak, women and children, as well as those without the ability to work, are provided with 2 meals a day to ensure that they do not starve to death. The most simple truth is not to suffer from scarcity but from inequality. Although he has unlimited resources, he cannot scatter them recklessly. When a person is hungry, all they think about is eating. But once you're full, all sorts of miscellaneous ideas come along. Joining the military and not joining the military receive the same treatment. Working and not working are also treated equally. Over time, laziness and resentment will inevitably breed. So he has to set the rules from the beginning. And it will continue to improve, so that those who put in effort can have more returns." Fangsheng is not a fool, he understands Lu He's ideas very well. "I also felt that doing so was right, so I immediately went ahead and executed it." At 8 o'clock in the morning, the system conducted another lottery draw. Unexpectedly, the 4th item unexpectedly drew infinite cement. This is a good thing. Not only can it be used to repair city walls and build houses, but it can also be used to pave cement roads. The cement in the portable warehouse is packed bag by bag. As long as it is stirred with water to form a slurry, it can be used directly. After breakfast, he asked Fangsheng to bring a few old craftsmen and taught them how to use cement. At first, a few people didn't believe that there would be such a magical thing in the world. Not only can green bricks be glued together, but they can also be used to pave roads. Isn't this nonsense? Just wait until the cement dries on the 3rd day. Their inherent cognition was instantly shattered. A small section of cement road laid for the experiment. Not only smooth and silky, but also particularly sturdy. Whether it's stepping hard with your feet or jumping hard on it. The cement road has no cracks, it's simply amazing. And after a few blue bricks are glued together, it's really hard to break them apart. Immediately follow Lu He's request and teach others how to use cement. And during the 2 days he was waiting for the cement to dry. Not only have the newly released regulations begun to be officially implemented. Even drew infinite brick and infinite round wood. With these 3 building materials, the repair speed of Luoyang city immediately increased by a significant margin. The people in charge of work don't have to transport materials at all. Wherever materials are needed, Lu He puts them directly there. Anyway, he only goes to release it in the middle of the night, and no one will notice. Even if someone finds it strange the next day. He can also fabricate an excuse to evade it. On the 7th day of his journey, he drew infinite rough cloth. On the 8th day of his journey, he drew infinite mineral water. On the 9th day of his journey, he drew infinite eggs. On the 10th day of his journey, he drew infinite, smoked chicken legs. Everything is progressing very smoothly. The number of people in Luoyang city is also increasing. His personal team has even expanded to 5,000 people. And there are as many as 30,000 people responsible for repairing the city. Most of the refugees around Luoyang have come running over. Food is abundant, there is salt and meat, so one should be satisfied immediately. Joining a team in a short period of time is simply not too easy. The only weakness is that it lacks combat effectiveness. Encountering a strong enemy, it is estimated that they will be dispersed in just one charge. Although field combat may not work, using these people to defend the city is enough. Although lacking weapons and equipment, it cannot withstand the unlimited use of stones and wood. Even smashing with building materials can destroy the enemy. And under Lu He's instructions, the city walls of Luoyang are constantly being raised. Anyway, there is no limit to the use of green bricks and cement, just slowly climb up the base. When the enemy attacks the city, it is estimated that the ladder will not be as high as the city wall. I can't even climb up if I want, I can only work outside the city and watch. On the 11th day of his journey, he drew infinite shampoo. This is a good thing. After crossing over, he can only wash his hair with clean water. My hair has been washed dry and itchy. Now you finally don't have to suffer anymore. And when he instructed people to boil hot water and prepare to wash their hair. However, a 3-person escape group appeared outside Luoyang city. Hua, Cai Yan, Cai Yuan. The 3 of them had just escaped into Luoyang city in a carriage. He was detained by Fangsheng, who was inspecting the spies. He served as a city gate captain in Luoyang. Although I don't know Hua, the other 2 women do. These are the 2 daughters of the great scholar Cai Yang's family. Big sister Cai Yan, style Zhaoji, little sister Cai Yuan, style Jinji. Not only is he talented, but he also looks like a fairy, it's hard not to remember. Even if the 2 deliberately dirted their faces with soil. Even covered his face with a coarse cloth. But when he sat in the kanji shop to eat, he showed his face carelessly. I can't help it. The sisters are starving all the way. Plus sesame Shaobing, baked cake and griddle, pickles, boiled eggs, smoked chicken legs, it's really delicious. Without paying attention, he forgot to cover up and was immediately recognized by Fangsheng. Okay. I'm worried that I won't have the chance to show off in front of my lord. This credit was delivered to your door by yourself. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. My life is like walking on thin ice. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although Fangsheng has been practicing martial arts since childhood, his martial arts skills can only be described as average. If he really had such great abilities, he would have made a name for himself long ago. Not to mention anything else, joining the feudal lords as a small commander is stronger than being a city gate captain. Unfortunately, there are too many talented people in this era, and he can't even rank high. Although I don't know why Lu He values him so much. Not only does he have to handle everything. Even made him the captain of his own troops. But he knew it was his own opportunity. And it's the only chance to turn over in this lifetime. So no matter what he does, he tries his best, like walking on thin ice. Afraid of ruining the situation, the guild dismissed him from his position. But even if everything is done well, his sense of crisis did not diminish in the slightest, and even worsened. Because the Lord's abilities are really too great. How much food is needed? If you want to repair Luoyang, you can find a large amount of building materials. There are even magical things like cement. The most important thing is that the protagonist loves the people like a child. Just forget about managing the food, and constantly add new dishes. Knowing that the common people were short of clothes, a large amount of coarse cloth was brought in. Knowing that there is a shortage of drinking water in the city, we will distribute free mineral water to everyone. After living for over 30 years, have you ever seen a family that can eat eggs and chicken legs every day? But just follow the Lord and everyone can do it. The Lord, who has such great abilities, values him as a mediocre person. Do you think he can sleep? Can the Lord still be valued and he has more capable people under his command in the future? A person without foresight must have immediate worries. He doesn't want to lose this opportunity to stand out. So we must find a way to win the favor of our Lord. Based on observations over the past few days, he is 100% certain that there are no relatives of the Lord in Luoyang city. Although the protagonist may not be 30 years old by appearance. But people of this age must have already married and had children. Even if there are family members living in other places. You always have to bring some people to serve you, right? It's strange that there's no one around the Lord to serve. The maids in the mansion were arranged by him. At first, he thought it was because the protagonist was not close to women. That's why I came to Luoyang alone to relieve the disaster. But only after inquiring with the maids in the mansion did they understand. My lord is definitely a normal man. Sometimes I even joke around with these maids. But the reason why they were not allowed to sleep. Most likely, it's because I don't like it and haven't starved to the point of choosing to eat. The speaker had no intention, the listener had intention, and Fang Xing immediately found the direction. Since the Lord doesn't have a home in Luoyang, let's help him settle down. It's okay if you don't like these ordinary people. Just figure out a way to find a better one on your own, okay? He admits that this approach is vulgar and no different from petty people. But he had no choice, he knew how much he weighed. I cannot be a famous minister or a general. Only by winning the favor of the Lord can we take this path. Therefore, in the moment of seeing Cai Yan and Cai Yuan, he knew his opportunity had come. We must not let them both go. To ensure that no errors occur, Fang Xing did not immediately detain the person, but let the subordinates gather people and horses. Several hundred people were called to stand by near the kanji shop. He just walked over with people. A temporary outdoor kanji shop. At this time, only Huatua, Cai Yan, and Cai Yuan remained. It seems that there is something wrong with the atmosphere. Huatua, who was full of food and drink, couldn't help but look around. Then he said, "Don't eat anymore, we should hurry." Cai Yuan pouted and said, "I haven't eaten enough yet. Can I have some more?" When we escaped from Chang'an, we didn't even have time to bring dry rations. I almost starved all the way, I don't want to go hungry anymore. Cai Yan is older and reacts faster than his sister. Immediately found the problem, and all the people in the kanji shop disappeared. Even the cook who cooked for them is missing. Hurriedly said, "Sister, don't eat anymore. The situation is not right, we must go." Cai Yuan said unhappily, "There are too many things that are not right. Living well in Chang'an City, my dad suddenly kicked us away. Let's just go and seek refuge with that Chaomengda." But surprisingly, not even a servant was arranged. "Sister, look at how dirty I am. When did I suffer such injustice? If you want to leave, you can leave. I won't leave anymore. I want to go back to Chang'an. You can go find Chaomengda to pay respects and get married yourself. I don't want to die on the road." Cai Yan reluctantly advised, "Sister, listen to your sister and leave quickly. Chang'an cannot go back. If we go back, we will definitely die. We must go to Liangzhou." While the two sisters were talking, Fang Sheng led people around. Although Hua Tuo possessed martial arts skills, he saw hundreds of soldiers approaching. Moreover, all were fully armed, and archers were on standby in the distance, giving up resistance in an instant. After all, he is just a doctor. Knowing some martial arts for self-defense doesn't mean he can be as powerful as a general. Do you still know me, Mississippi? Fang Sheng asked. Cai Yan has a very good memory, and can even be said to be unforgettable. After carefully examining Fang Sheng, he said, "Are you Fang Xiaowei guarding the east gate of the city?" Fang Sheng smiled and said, "Miss Cai really has a good memory, it's Fang." Seeing that it was an acquaintance, the three couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Cai Yan said, "I didn't expect to meet Captain Fang here, it's causing you trouble. We three still have something to do, so don't disturb us. Goodbye." As soon as they finished speaking, the three of them got up and walked out. However, the soldiers on the side pulled out their knives and blocked their way. Cai Yan asked in some panic, "What does Colonel Fang mean?" Fang Sheng sneered and said, "I've eaten and drunk too. It's probably not appropriate to just leave now, right?" Cai Yan nodded and said, "It's because Zhao Ji was impolite. Just tell me how much money Fang Xiaowei needs." Cai Yuan tugged at her sleeve and said, "Sister, we didn't bring any money when we went out. What would you give us?" Hua Tuo said, "I still have a few grains of gold on me, but..." He wants to say that the other party is likely not for money, but for people. Have you ever seen a family chasing after food expenses, causing such a commotion that even bows and arrows have been strung? Fang Sheng said solemnly, "Your father Cai Yong has defected to the rebel Dong Zhuo. You didn't stay well in Chang'an, but instead came to Luoyang to pretend to be refugees and cheat on food and drink. It's clear that you're trying to spy on our military intelligence, plotting to assassinate my lord, and arrest them for me." After hearing this, everyone immediately rushed forward and placed the knife around Hua Tuo's neck. Then he tied him up with a rope. And Cai Yan and Cai Yuan were tied up by the fierce women guarding on the side. These middle-aged women who work all day on the farm have surprisingly strong strength after eating enough. The two Miss Cai families had no strength to fight back, and the one bound was called a sturdy one. Fang Sheng anxiously instructed, "You guys, take it easy. Don't hurt the two ladies, the Lord still needs to personally interrogate them." After hearing this, several shrews immediately nodded and said that the rope had become loose. Everyone present knows the meaning of sending it to the Lord for interrogation. Everyone believes that doing so is right, and if there is something good, one must first show filial piety to the Lord. The Lord gave them food to eat, so that they could survive. Binding two women back is still a matter. What do you care about, Miss Cai and Miss Li? In this chaotic world, people's lives are not as good as dogs. Big fists are the hard truth. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Do you still want to go to Cao Cao's place? There's no door either. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Lu He is resting in the county government office. The system suddenly sent a battle report. During his inspection in the city, Fang Sheng unexpectedly discovered 3 suspicious individuals. After confirmation, 2 of them are Cai Yan and Cai Yuan, the daughters of the great scholar Cai Yong, and another 37-year-old male is the divine physician Hua Tuo. Hua Tuo traveled extensively to study medicine, but was forcibly appointed by Dong Zhuo as the imperial physician, and stay in Luoyang to treat him and his confidants. During the burning of Luoyang, Hua Tuo was also forcibly taken to Chang'an and could not escape. Cai Yong and Cao Cao are old acquaintances, and Cai Yan and Cao Cao have a mutual liking for each other due to the serious illness of Cao Cao's military advisor Guijia. Hua Tuo is needed to provide medical treatment. Therefore, Cao Cao wrote a letter to Cai Yong, hoping that he would rescue Hua Tuo. He will also send people to Chang'an City to respond and ensure the success of the rescue plan. Cai Yong didn't want to help, but when he thought about the Internal struggle for power and profit in the Western Liang army, the struggle between Li Ru, Dong Huang, Niu Fu, and LV Bu has become increasingly fierce. There may be chaos in Chang'an at some point, so I want to leave a way out for the Cai family. Taking advantage of the opportunity to rescue Huatua, he sent away his eldest daughter Cai Yan and asked her to marry Cao Cao. He felt that Cao Cao had a chance to dominate the world, and it was worth taking a risk for the other party. Then he secretly contacted Huatua, who was also willing to go to Liangzhou to help Cao Cao. The plan went smoothly, but unfortunately, there was still a leak of news, which caught Dong Zhuo's attention in a hurry. Only Huatua could escape with Cai Yan and Cai Yuan. First, the deceased soldiers sent by Cao Cao were cut off. The three of them fled in a carriage all the way, almost starving to death on the road without any food on the way. I heard that Luoyang city would distribute relief food, so I came here to seek help, but Fang Sheng recognized them and captured the three on the spot. Fang Sheng has brought 3 people to the county government and wants to hand over Miss Cai's family to you for personal interrogation. Not long after, Fang Sheng took the 3 of them to the county government office. I clasped my fists and arched my hands, saying, "Your Highness, I caught 3 spies while patrolling the city." One person claimed to be Huatua, who was a doctor who had been treating diseases for the Western Liang army before. The other 2 are the daughters of the rebellious Cai Yan. Please decide how to deal with them, my lord. Lu He said with satisfaction. General Fang is diligent and responsible, and his loyalty is commendable. He has worked hard. Seeing the protagonist smile, Fang Sheng finally felt much more at ease. Just before Lu He could ask a question, Cai Yuan spoke up and asked, "Who are you? Why did you occupy Luoyang city? Is it because you want to rebel?" Fang Sheng exclaimed excitedly, "How audacious! How dare a mere rebel speak wildly? My lord is a relative of the Han family and the uncle of the current emperor Lu Xie. Staying in Luoyang is to help the disaster victims, otherwise the 3 of you would have starved to death long ago." Upon hearing that Lu He was the emperor's uncle, Huatua and Cai Yan were clearly taken aback. "I swear that I have never heard of this person. This is obviously fake." However, Cai Yuan's reaction was different from the 2 of them. With a thud, he knelt down on the ground and cried out, "Uncle Huang, please spare your life. My sister and Huatua are going to seek refuge with the rebel Cao Cao. I am innocent, please don't kill me. I want to go back to Chang'an to see my mother." When we escaped from Chang'an, Dong Zhuo's personal army had already arrived at the doorstep. "I still don't know if my parents are still alive. I can't die, I want to go back to Chang'an. Even if I die, I have to die with my parents." The other party's extreme reaction made Lu He look foolish. "Are you sure he's not playing me?" Just looking at the other person's tearful expression. Thinking back to the ancient people's special emphasis on filial piety, perhaps it is truly a true expression of affection. Cai Yan said in some panic, "Jinji, what are you talking nonsense about? Stop talking." Cai Yuan cried and said, "I'm talking nonsense. Don't think I don't know anything. The family was originally safe because that Cao Cao wrote a letter to his father. Ask your father to help send both Huatua and you to Liangzhou, which has brought about a fatal accident. You keep saying that Dong Zhuo is a traitor, isn't he just Cao Cao? If it weren't for him, would our family have this big disaster? But you actually want to go and join him. You're really overwhelmed by that broken emotion." Lu He couldn't help but give a thumbs up after listening. Cai Yuan may seem reckless, but her brain is clear and her speech is organized. They're right. If it weren't for Cao Cao's letter, how could it have caused so much trouble? Although Cai Yong subjectively agreed, the main culprit was still Cao Cao himself. Causing the destruction of Cai Yuan's family, from a young lady to a refugee, no one can accept it. Now I have to wander all the way to seek refuge with Cao Cao. What are their intentions? Although this behavior of betraying teammates is somewhat shameful. But they are asking for help from Lu He, the great Han Emperor uncle. Regardless of whether his identity is true or false, he is clearly the official army of the Han dynasty. This is just like reporting to the police in case of an accident, at most it's just killing the family with righteousness. Lu He ordered, "Someone, take Miss Jinji down to rest and treat her well." The maid guarding the door immediately walked into the lobby and helped Cai Yuan up. Cai Yuan gratefully said, "Thank you very much, Uncle Huang." "Thank you very much, Uncle Huang." After the other party was taken away, Lu He looked at Hua Tuo and Cai Yan. He also saw the young version of Hua Tuo for the first time. Whether it's playing games or watching TV dramas, Hua Tuo appeared in the image of an elderly person. Nowadays, seeing real people is quite novel. As if being scrutinized up and down by Lu He, I felt a little uneasy. Hua Tuo took the initiative to say, "I, Hua Tuo, am a mountain village doctor. It is fortunate to have the chance to meet Uncle Huang here. However, I myself did not violate the laws of the Han dynasty. Please let me go, Uncle Huang." Lu He smiled and said, "I have heard of the name of Dr. Hua. Dong Zhuo will force you to stay by his side and treat him and his confidants. You can imagine how high your medical skills will be. Nowadays, there are sick people everywhere in Luoyang city, and we urgently need your help." Hua Tuo waved his hand and said, "Although Hua has some medical skills. But after all, it's just one person, how can we save so many people? If Uncle Huang is feeling unwell, I can take responsibility for treating him. But after being cured, please let me leave Luoyang." Lu He asked, "Is Dr. Hua determined to help Cao Cao?" Hua Tuo explained, "The heart of a doctor's parents, I'm just going to save people, not to help Cao Cao. And I was trapped in Chang'an, and it was also Cao Cao who sent someone to save me. I will fulfill my promise both in love and reason. Please forgive me, Uncle Huang." Cai Yan said, "Your Majesty, Meng De is a loyal minister of the great Han dynasty. Firstly, he assassinated Dong Zhuo alone, and then summoned the feudal lords of the world to attack Dong. Loyalty to the Han dynasty, as seen by the sun and moon, is not a traitor. It is precisely because he is loyal to the Han family that my father helped him. It's pointless for you to detain us in Luoyang. The true enemy of Han is Dong Zhuo." Lu He nodded and said, "You're absolutely right. Do you think this is feasible? I happen to be preparing to send troops to attack Dong. You two write a letter to Cao Cao, asking him to lead troops and submit to me." In this way, he became the first loyal minister of our Han dynasty. At that time, you can also send Guojia, who is seriously ill, to Luoyang for treatment. Cai Yan was immediately dumbfounded upon hearing this. My lips trembled for a while, but not a single word popped out. Because she knows it's impossible. Nowadays, there is great chaos in the world, and the ambitions of all the lords are wildly expanding. The so-called loyalty to the Han dynasty is just a slogan that everyone talks about. Leading troops to surrender. It's better to just kill Cao Cao. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Learn from the Chow thief and grab directly. You are listening at novelfull.audio. To be honest, the two sisters of the Cai family are really gorgeous. Even if you deliberately touch the mud on your face, it cannot conceal your extraordinary beauty. It's just that Lu He is determined to dominate the world. I won't be fooled by beauty at all. Even if you are eloquent, I cannot let you go. I really made you go to Cao Cao's side. So I have to expose all the secrets here. Luoyang city is currently restricted from entering and leaving. The refugees outside have arrived, as long as they eat relief food. Then you must stay in the city to work. Even if you can't work, you have to stay honest in the city. So even if Fangxing didn't recognize the three of Cai Yan, they were also unable to leave the city, and the confidentiality work was done quite well. As for Hua Tuo, we cannot let him go. Lu He didn't expect him to treat his illness, but not wanting him to save his enemies. Guojia is more powerful than anyone else. If you really save this demon alive, it will be even harder to fight Cao Cao in the future. So this person has been pinned down. If Hua Tuo doesn't listen, then he can only be killed with one blow, and keeping it is also a disaster. Due to your forced attention of Hua Tuo, the wheels of history have shifted. Cao Cao's strategist Guojia, unable to receive timely treatment, the condition will gradually worsen and eventually deteriorate to the point where it cannot be treated, resulting in a significant reduction in lifespan. Cao Cao's strategic deployment and various offensive plans were seriously affected. Continuing to change this historical line will earn you the hidden reward. After seeing the information sent by the battle report system, Lu He was instantly overjoyed. I didn't expect my luck to once again affect the trajectory of history. Guojia in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms has always been in poor health. After helping Cao Cao fight Yuan Shao, he hung up. But the Three Kingdoms world he is currently experiencing. Guojia is likely not a short-lived ghost. If treated promptly by Hua Tuo, there is a high probability of a smooth recovery. This is definitely a huge piece of bad news. When I think about the possibility of Hua Tuo escaping or being rescued, Lu He couldn't help but ponder. Should we kill this guy now? Hua Tuo is a person who has traveled south and north to see the world. As soon as Lu He's heart was filled with killing intent, he sensed something was amiss in the atmosphere. What is the situation? Talking well, how did his gaze change when he looked at me? Where did this come from? He wouldn't really want to kill me, would he? Lu He sat on the high hall and looked at Hua Tuo below in a cold voice, saying, Dr. Hua is kind-hearted and trustworthy in his words. If I force you to stay in Luoyang, it will be a petty act. If that's the case, then let General Fang take you on your way and have a good journey. Listening attentively, Hua Tuo instantly became aroused. Knowing that the other party is really going to kill themselves. Although I don't understand why the other party wanted to kill him. But he knew he had to save himself immediately, otherwise his life would be ruined. Quickly kneeling on the ground, he said, Uncle Huang misunderstood me. There are still many people in Luoyang who need medical treatment. How can Hua refuse to save his life? Please give the people a chance, Uncle Huang. Let me heal all the people in the city before leaving. Lu He smiled and said, since that's the case, then I'll give you a chance. But remember, there's only one chance, if you dare to run away. Hua Tuo quickly said, I understand, my mind is moving. Lu He said with satisfaction, General Fang, from today on, the Hua Divine Doctor will be entrusted to you. We must treat him well and not let him suffer any injustice. Do you understand? Fang Xing clenched his fists and said, Master, rest assured that my humble position will not make any mistakes. Lu He nodded, indicating that he could leave with Hua Tuo. After everyone left, only Cai Yan remained in the lobby. Even the shrews responsible for guarding have left. Cai Yan asked, how does Uncle Huang want to deal with civilian women? Lu He said, I hope you can marry me. Cai Yan said angrily, idiotic. I won't marry a scammer. You claim to be Uncle Huang, but I'm 100% sure you're a fake. Lu He said nonchalantly, is it important whether it's true or false? As long as my strength is strong enough, let alone become an imperial uncle. Even if it's becoming an emperor, there's no problem. Strength is the standard for measuring everything. Cai Yan sneered, strength. How much strength can a person who uses a city gate captain as a general have? If even a scammer like you could dominate the world, then Zhang Jiao would have become the emperor long ago. Lu He calmly asked, do you still remember when Luoyang was burned on fire? Cai Yan had great confidence in his memory and blurted out. Of course I remember, 46 days ago, Dong Zhuo set fire to Luoyang and the 18 route marquises put out the fire. After only half speaking, she couldn't continue. Because she finally realized something was wrong. Yes, it has only been 46 days since the fire burned in Luoyang. After the fire was extinguished, the 18th Route Alliance stationed around Luoyang for half a month. But there was no restoration of Luoyang city at all. What did you see after coming to Luoyang? The city walls and gates have been repaired and are even constantly being raised. There are construction teams everywhere, working fervently. The city provides high-quality food, even she speaks highly of it. On the way to the county government office, as long as you can see the people. Everyone was flushed with joy, wearing new clothes made of coarse cloth. The road surface of the street is very flat, I don't know what material was used to pave it. The burned-down houses are also constantly being rebuilt, and there is no refugee in sight. According to common sense, this is simply an impossible thing to happen. A city that has been burned down by a large fire cannot recover so quickly. Just the necessary building materials, grains, and supplies are enormous. Not to mention that transportation still requires a lot of time. Not to mention it's been 46 days, even 460 days won't be enough to achieve the current scene. But Lu He did it, is this the strength he claimed? At this moment, Cai Yan finally looked carefully at the man in front of him. Under 30 years old, handsome and upright in stature. At first glance, it appears to be the children of aristocratic families who have studied. And the temperament on the body is very unique, especially those deep eyes. Not only is it full of confidence, but it also gives people a wisdom to see through everything. What kind of person is he? Is he really the Emperor of Han? How strong is his strength? Lu He said, Miss Cai, men all have a common problem. Either greed for power or lust. However, Lu is quite unique and has never liked to make choices, instead he wants everything. To be honest, since you have entered Luoyang city, you cannot leave here. There are only two paths before you, one is to marry me and live a good life with me. The other way is to work like ordinary people, and if you dare to escape, I will make your life worse than death. He certainly knows how to cherish fragrance and jade, but that's for his own woman. Cai Yan didn't marry him again, why do he show mercy to her? He has never been a licking dog since he was so old, because licking dogs cannot be used. He admitted that the Cai family's two sisters were very beautiful. In modern times, she is also a female star at the level of a playwright. But in this chaotic world, there is no leisure time to talk about love. When Chow Thief was looking for a woman, do you see who he was in love with? When looking for Zhou, she simply said, Madam, would you like to share the same bed with Chow? If you don't have the strength, you'll have to follow the example of Chow Thief and grab it. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10 Cai Yan. So I was used. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. To be honest, Cai Yan was indeed a bit scared. She could tell that Lu He was not joking with her. As long as she dares to squeeze a word out of her teeth. That waiting for her must be a catastrophic disaster. You may even lose your life. She doesn't want to die, let alone die in such a confused way. I can only helplessly say, my daughter has just arrived in Luoyang city and doesn't know much about Uncle Huang. Can you give the girl a few days to consider? I will get back to you as soon as possible. Lu He nodded and said, sure, but don't think about running away, understand? Cai Yan said, thank you very much, Uncle Huang, for reminding me. My daughter knows the right balance. Later, Lu He instructed the shrews outside the hall to take her into the backyard. Be locked in the same room as Cai Yuan and strictly monitor her. Without his permission, no one is allowed to see the two sisters. If someone tries to escape, then kill both of them together. He is not yet fully fledged, and he must not let other feudal lords focus on him. On the 12th day of his journey, he drew infinite toothpaste. On the 13th day of his journey, he won infinite toothbrush. On the 14th day of his journey, he drew infinite towels. On the 15th day of his journey, he drew infinite soap. Adding the shampoo I had previously drawn, I just made up a shampoo set. As long as the people who join the army and work can receive them as needed. People with the ability to work, if they don't work, only want to make ends meet with 2 meals a day. Then he can be directly arrested and starved for a few days before being released when he is willing to work. In Luoyang city, both men and women are the same, they all have to work. Men do heavy physical labor, while women are responsible for delivering food and making clothes. As long as they work hard, the elderly and children at home can also live well. There is no reward without effort, this is the iron rule set by Lu He. At the beginning, everyone had no idea how to use the toiletry set. I even thought it was for eating. After Lu He personally taught a group of people. The usage method gradually spread throughout the city. Only then did everyone understand that this was for personal hygiene purposes. Don't be unaware, it's a shock. What a pile of dirty things to wash off from my face and body. Everyone was surprised to find that people can still be so clean. After washing, the hair is not only fragrant, but also very smooth and oil-free. My hands and face were also washed clean, as if I could see things clearly. After brushing teeth, not only is the mouth particularly refreshing, but there is even no odor when speaking. These things are really amazing. How did the Lord come up with them? And the towels distributed were really comfortable to use to wipe my face and body. The materials used are better than the clothes they wear, are you sure they won't be too wasteful? Cai Yan and Cai Yuan also received the grooming set. I was instantly shocked by these things that Lu He made. Before, let alone using it, they didn't even dare to think about it. The 2 sisters themselves are clean people. After obtaining these things, it feels like a treasure trove, and I feel like I've lived in vain before. Sister, this soap smells so good. Do you know what it's made of? Sister, this toothbrush is so soft. After brushing with toothpaste, the breath is fragrant. Sister, can you smell what kind of floral scent this shampoo has? Sister, you said that Jiao Chan has such a fragrant body, may I also use these things? Sister, why aren't you talking? Don't you like to talk anymore? Cai Yan belongs to a very quiet type and enjoys reading at home. He is also proficient in music, chess, calligraphy, and painting. But Cai Yuan is quite quirky, although she is also knowledgeable and rational, she is very lively and outgoing. The most important thing is that I can't hide my words in my heart. I can say whatever comes to my mind, which can easily startle me. Cai Yan responded, you've said everything, what else can I say? Cai Yuan frowned and said, Sister, you're not thinking about that Cao Cao again, are you? I really don't understand what's good about him, just because he praised the poetry you wrote. Cai Yan shook his head and said, no, why didn't Uncle Lu come to find us? Cai Yuan said, isn't it okay not to come to us? It's better to have food, drink, and a shower than to escape, right? Cai Yan said, it's good, but he wants me to marry him, otherwise these good days will come to an end. Cai Yuan said nonchalantly, then why don't you just marry him? Uncle Huang, you two have a grand appearance. It's better to get married than to go find that Cao Cao, isn't it? Cai Yan said, Sister, why do you hate Cao Cao so much? Cai Yuan excitedly said, hate it. I really wish I could kill him. He caused my family to perish for the sake of a damn military strategist under his command. Shouldn't I hate him? Do you know whether parents are alive or dead now? If you don't want to marry Uncle Huang, then I'll go beg him to marry me. I must live well and see with my own eyes how Dong Zhuo and Cao Cao died. Cai Yan nodded after listening, as if he agreed with his sister's statement. She's not a fool, she's just blinded by emotions. After calmly thinking for a few days now, I also feel that what my sister said makes sense. Can Cao Cao not know the danger of snatching people from Dong Zhuo's hands? He didn't seek help from others, instead he came to seek help from his own father. Isn't it because I have a good impression of him? That's why my father made a misjudgment. I think Cao Cao is one of my own people and both parties can marry. If he doesn't like Cao Cao, then his father will definitely not take risks. So the root of all these tragedies is her. She's just a tool used by Cao Cao. Perhaps marrying Lu He is also an acceptable choice. At least it can make my sister live peacefully. After thinking it through, she asked the maid who was guarding outside the door to pass the message. He said he had figured it out and wanted to meet with Uncle Huang. Lu He has been very busy these days and has more and more official tasks to handle. If he hadn't had enough energy, he would have gone to find the Cai family's 2 sisters. I need to go to the construction site for inspection during the day. See how the city walls and gates have been repaired. How are the cement roads and residential buildings in the city being repaired? Remember how much building materials are left in various places. When it's quiet at night, go to each place to restock. And they also need to go to the military for inspection and meet with representatives of the people. Otherwise, sitting in the county government office every day, who knows what you look like. We have to let everyone know who is rescuing them. Who the hell are they working for? Although it's hard, the rewards are also generous. The city wall of Luoyang has been built to a height of 20 meters. Just give him 2 more months. He is confident that he can reach a height of 40 meters to defend against enemy attacks. Before crossing, he had no concept of the height of ancient city walls. I think it should be at least 20.30 meters high. I only understood after seeing the city walls of Luoyang. At this time, the city wall was only about 10 meters high. Moreover, it's a big city like Luoyang, and for a small city, it may only be a few meters away. Now he has built the walls of Luoyang up to 20 meters, which is already a very outrageous behavior. If the base reaches 40 meters, it is estimated that the enemy has no intention of attacking. The stones and wood thrown from such a height can really turn people into meat sauce. The height of one floor is about 3 meters. If it's 40 meters, it's about the height of a 13-story building. If Zhuge Liang were to attack the city, he would have to be ruthless. It's not that Lu He doesn't want to climb higher. But the battle report system provided an evaluation. Under your command, the Luoyang city wall has been built to 20 meters and is currently structurally stable due to the influence of structural engineering and material science. There is a limit to the height of city walls. The highest wall in Luoyang can only be built up to 42 meters. If it exceeds this height, the structural stability and load-bearing capacity of the city wall will be damaged. 100% chance of serious collapse. Since 42 meters is the limit, just repair it to 40 meters, safety first. After a busy day, when I returned to the county government in the evening, the maid then conveyed Cai Yan's words to him. He said he had figured it out and wanted to meet him. Lu He was very happy after listening. Thinking about it, I finally don't have to sleep alone tonight. Just haven't waited for him to be happy yet. The system sent a new battle report. And it's a dense pile of text. There is only one core content. Dong Zhuo is dead.